I've got some exciting news. Hello, I'm Stats. I'm a World of Warships community contributor, and welcome to Foghorn. I read things so you don't have to. More about CC status later, but first to business. When I posted my last Foghorn before 080 was rolled out, I wondered what my first update would be. Things have been pretty much as everyone expected. It's not the end of the world, nobody's died, people are still playing, but the introduction of the carrier rework onto live has not been without issues as anticipated. Wargaming have always said that there would be a period of balancing following go live, and I'm sure hotfixing was always an option to do that between the full updates for balancing. Well, we will be getting a hotfix to address several key issues. There are no timelines just yet, just simply ASAP. The details of the hotfix are subject to change, so we'll be needing this. But Wargaming have published their current list of issues that they will try to address, chunked up into 3 prioritised areas. First is a list of things to be fixed ASAP within the hotfix. The excessive efficiency of Tier 10 IGN carrier Hakuryu will be addressed. They don't give any further details, but when players can record damage totals of over 500,000, something needs to change. NA Region CC iChase has demonstrated several techniques on his channel for achieving this kind of damage, so you can expect some of those techniques to be addressed somehow. The excessive efficiency of IGN torpedo bombers will be addressed with reduced flooding chance and also an accuracy penalty for turning whilst on an attack run. Currently, most IGN torpedo bombers have no turning penalty once the accuracy has peaked. I didn't have the impression that IGN torpedo bombers other than Hakuryu were overpowered, but apparently the data suggests that they are overperforming compared to other carriers. If that's the case, then clearly they need balancing. I'm just a little concerned that the national flavours will be blurred if Japanese torpedo bombers become more like the American ones. The F-spam issue, where players return to their planes as soon as they start taking damage to avoid losing any planes, will be addressed by increasing the vulnerability time after pressing F, so surface ships have additional time to shoot down planes, which should discourage the practice, and it may make carriers a little more cautious about where they fly. I'm very happy to read the next one, as I'm not a fan of the all-or-nothing wall of flak mechanic, which often leads to you either losing no planes or losing everything. Some damage is going to be moved from flak to aura damage over time, which will make damage a more gradual thing and should lead to a better curve of plane kills the longer a plane stays inside the AA aura. It'll probably mean, however, that flak becomes relatively less potent than damage over time effects, so you may want to re-evaluate any AA builds that you have before the free respec period ends later this week, if you've buffed into flak particularly. Some balancing will be done of attack planes versus destroyers. Ouija don't give any details, and they point out that it seems that most destroyer players aren't pressing P to enable their AA even when they're plane spotted, and they would like to point out that this is a good thing to do while there are planes overhead. Personally, I think in the hands of a skilled carrier player, HE dive bombers are just as dangerous as rockets, but the focus at the moment seems to be on rockets for balancing. Premium and Royal Navy carriers will be subject to some balance changes. No details were given. This could include all of the extant premiums, Kaga, Saipan, Enterprise and Graf Zeppelin. Des Moines and Salem's AA will be aligned more closely in the close to mid-ranges, as they currently differ quite a lot from each other. Second, Wargaming gave a list of changes which are being earmarked for update 081 or later. Plane reserves information will be improved to make it clearer what's going on, and this is a question which seems to pop up quite regularly. What do all the numbers actually mean, and what's the status of my plane reserves? Hopefully this will make things clearer. The AA sector UI will be made more usable. There have been many suggestions about how this might work. Personally, I'd like to see a mappable key to switch the sectors, or preferably a return to single squadron focus, with a sector concept being completely removed, so players, especially destroyers, don't have to manage sectors every few seconds whilst trying to stay unspotted, worry about torpedoes, worry about radar, worry about being rushed, worry about who to shoot and who to torp, and so on. It's too much to manage, and even extremely experienced destroyer players are struggling to manage AA on top of everything else they have to do. And meanwhile, sector switching on cruisers and battleships takes so long that no one is probably bothering. Sectors definitely needs some love. Additional balancing was announced, which could literally mean anything as a catch-all, but you can expect most change in the areas of spotting and AA, of course. One suggestion, which was actually made by Lupin from my clan, is that information about returning planes should be cleared from sight for allied players to avoid players being confused about whether those planes are live and spotting enemies, or returning and so not spotting. Currently, they both look the same, and Wargaming have noted that they will clear this information from the minimap. Presumably this means the planes will still be visible in the game world, but at least the players will be able to check the minimap to see if they are live or returning planes. Finally, in the second list for 8.1 and on, carrier bots will be introduced for co-op and training battles. The bots can't currently fly planes, so no doubt they'll all be sent off to some corporate training centre to learn the art of air ramming. Third list. There was a list of changes to be addressed at some time in the future, but with no planned dates. And there were two things: the amount of CV spotting and matchmaking limits being changed to the numbers of carriers in a match. Wargaming note that they would like to get 1 per team per match, with a maximum of 2 during busy times, instead of the current maximum of 2 and 3 at busy times. While the change you were looking for might not be on that list, bear in mind that the list is no way complete and has that catch-all of additional balancing. And trust me when I say that Wargaming are very busily reading your comments, so I encourage you to get onto Reddit, the forums and CC videos and comment what you think. Wargaming, the more they hear something, the more they're likely to address it, especially if you explain it in a calm, clear and concise manner. In other news, I had a very nice end to last week when I was formally inducted into the World of Warships Community Contributor Program. For those of you who don't know, this program allows Wargaming to support content producers with access to test content, sneak peeks, and some information under a non-disclosure agreement, which enables CCs to keep you better informed. The CCs might not always be able to say what's going on, but we will at least be able to say to you, Wargaming are aware of that, or there'll be a news post soon when you raise questions. CCs also have a more direct route for submitting feedback, so please do continue to comment on my videos, participate in my Twitch chat, and discuss things in the StatsBloke Discord, links in the description. The other thing that CCs get is some goodies to give away each month, and I've already given away some CC containers, and we'll be giving away some more during February, so be sure to keep an eye out for news of when that's happening. Becoming a CC means I will be able to bring you a wider variety of content, but Foghorn News will remain the backbone of what I do for the foreseeable future. I'll leave you in peace now, StatsBloke, so thank you for watching, take care of each other, and I'll speak to you very soon.